Well, fancy seeing you all here. Yeah, take a look at our new graphics here. This is not SCN Sports Talk anymore, guys. This is Sports Talk on Tinkle Sports. That's our new name. For those here on the new network, I'm Brian. That's Jason. We're proud to be here on the old SCN Unloaded. It is now Tinkle Sports. If you missed the canteen this week, I was actually on there as well. This is kind of our new network. We have merged into one for now. We're going to try to bring you more content. We figure being under the same roof would be best for both of us. Both Zach, Jason, Nathaniel, actually all four of us really. I shouldn't have even said both, but all of us. We figured it'd be better off if we just merged those channels. For those on the audio side of things, we know you all by now. So
yeah, we ain't new now.
Yeah.
For all the YouTube people, hi.
Yeah.
We've been around.
Check out SCN if you want to know where we are. And actually, if you are on SCN, I did a little no in our decision here. So, of course, SCN is no more, but this video is on SCN. So I did a little no. I'm uploading it for one more week so that way you guys know where we're at. And it's not just, where the heck did these guys go? So, for
I guess we could always, upload it to both.
It's just for 1 week. It's, after this, it's going to be strictly on the Tinkle Sports YouTube. But it's just because I didn't have time for an announcement. That's why.
Yep, that means literally go on your computer, type in Tinkle Sports Talk.
It's right up there in the corner above Jason. Right directly above Jason. So, check it out. We have all sorts of shows under one roof. But with that, we don't have much to talk about today, but let's get right into it. Of course, well, we had a little distortion there, but anyway, the national championship was on Monday night, and Gonzaga is not your national champions. It is the Baylor Bears. I guess first off, what were your thoughts on that game, Jason?
Well, we all knew that their offense of 3-point shots were going to be good and their defense was going to show, and that's exactly what we got in that game. 3-point shot, a 3-point barrage by the Baylor Bears, and defense city. Like, we got a lot of steals, we got a lot of turnovers. Gonzaga just looked like the Gonzaga that we were expecting.
Gonzaga looked like a team that didn't belong there at the end of the day.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you look at Gonzaga and you say, well, they might have gotten to the national championship because of a lucky three-pointer. And that's all it was. It was a lucky three-point shot to get them to the final,
and I said
the national championship game.
And I said it wasn't just luck. That was clutch in a situation like that. Unfortunately, and people have said, oh, they're exhausted. And, but you can't use that excuse. Baylor played the same exact day, and they routed Houston. Baylor was the more prepared team for this moment than Gonzaga, than Houston, and frankly, than UCLA. But UCLA could have very well gotten there and made an impact. So, I mean, UCLA, maybe they should have been there. But, of course, another thing to keep in mind, this matchup was supposed to happen in Indianapolis in December, and it got canceled due to COVID.
Yeah.
So I guess it's good that we finally got the matchup between the true number one and the true number two this season.
Well, just think about it this way. UCLA would have been there if it wasn't for that three-point shot. Gonzaga, they take it to the national championship game. So, who knows what could have been the outcome if it was UCLA and Baylor. Probably would have been the same thing. Probably would have had Baylor win it all. We don't know for a fact.
Yeah, I think Baylor was just the better team overall.
Yeah, they were.
I think, this is the reason why they were ranked top 5 to begin with. And Gonzaga, again, I mean, I've said it multiple times. They don't really get a true challenge all year. They rarely ever get a true challenge. Of course, Virginia wasn't as good this year. Kansas wasn't as good this year. They played both of them, I believe, and they didn't do too well. Or they won those games, obviously, but they weren't what we're used to seeing from those programs.
Right.
But real quickly, I actually want to share a tweet, and it's from James Holzhauer. I wish they'd stop giving automatic bids to these small conference champs that can't compete with the big boys. Kind of a bold statement, but I mean, can you agree or disagree here?
It depends on the team. I think Gonzaga definitely deserved to be where they were, but yeah, I would go as far as it was just a different tournament this year. You just didn't have teams that usually get to the Final Four, the Elite Eight, the Sweet 16 as you usually do. So it just felt like a whole different tournament. And I guess you could blame COVID for the real reason why the tournament felt the way it is. But just wait till next year. I think things will be back to being sort of normal when it comes to the NCAA tournament. So you might see Kansas, Kentucky.
I don't know about Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky's the same program that they used to be. Duke is kind of taking all their one and dones now, and so is LSU.
Duke, UNC, you might see a lot of those teams. Maybe even Villanova back in it.
I think Villanova's the safe bet. UNC's going to take a few years. We'll obviously talk about why.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
In a little bit. But as far as Gonzaga goes, I don't think they didn't have business being there because, again, look at the conference that they play. They have to play strong teams out of conference just to make up for the fact that they don't have a strong team in their conference. I mean, BYU was okay, but they're no match for this team. So, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, they definitely earned their way there, but they were also in a weak part of the bracket. Every team they beat by double digits. Up till UCLA, who was a true challenge. And UCLA was a better team than everybody gave them credit for. So.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, UCLA was that team that literally had to play their way in and got to the Final Four. So they were the first four to the Final Four.
And I'm going to argue
but
again.
Nothing more than the Final Four.
And I'm going to argue again. We did it on our live stream on Sunday. I'm going to argue it again here right now. They are the best 11 seed that has ever played in the tournament. And I will go down saying it until someone else proves me wrong. But again, the fact is there that they are the best 11 seed, regardless of the fact that they went out at the same time VCU did.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to make this bold prediction for maybe next year. It would not shock me if UCLA becomes a higher seed and gets a little bit further than they did this year.
I could see it. I think they got a good coach over there. I think they got a good, they're starting to get better. They got a good program. They got good prestige. They've always had excellent prestige. I could see them making another run next year. I will just say I can't deny that I think they could make another run.
Right.
But with that, I guess now we can change to the NCAA coaching changes. We got a lot of college on our minds this week. On that note, Sean Miller, he was fired from the University of Arizona. There were violations. This is a program a few years ago that was very good. They were at the top of NCAA at one point, and they just fell. They fell from grace. They haven't been as good in recent years. And now they're definitely going to be looking for a new coach, a new direction. And I guess the punishment fits the crime if those violations are as bad as people make them out to be.
I mean, it all depends on who's going to be their head coach. I think Arizona could be back at, to one of those top teams like they have been in the past. Of course, nothing beats the time. I'm worried about saying this. Arizona was one of those teams, was the number 1 seed that lost the 16 seed back in the few years back, right?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Was it Arizona?
Wait, what was that again? Sorry, I was reading.
I said, no, Arizona was the team that lost to a 16 seed back in the day, weren't they?
No, that was Virginia.
Oh, never mind. You're right, Virginia.
So, actually, this vacancy is not open, by the way. Sorry, I had to look it up to be sure I had it right. Jack Murphy, the associate head coach for Arizona, he will serve as the interim head coach for next season. So, they are not going to go through the process of hiring a new coach.
Probably not until after that season's done and over with.
And this is a part of a 2017 federal investigation into corruption in college basketball. Their former assistant coach Richardson, he pleaded guilty to one felony count of conspiracy to commit bribery after being accused of accepting $20,000 to steer Arizona players to aspiring sports agent Christian Dawkins. So, a huge recruiting violation. I'd expect some wins to be vacated. I would definitely expect possible postseason forfeits for the next few years, and obviously a loss of a few scholarships along the way. It looks like he's having some mic issues. He had to pick it up.
No. I decided my back was hurting me, so I decided to sit back a little bit.
But
bring it closer to me.
Yeah, so it is a giant bribery scheme. There's many of these in NCAA. Many of which are not uncovered. Many of which are either overlooked because of the program. So
when you're talking about bribery, are you talking about like literally paying the players?
Yeah, paying the players to go to that school. I wouldn't doubt that they vacate a few of those wins.
Didn't that not happen in Duke with Zion Williamson? He got
I think it was investigated. I think it was investigated and it was swept under the rug because it's Duke. I'm not saying that's the case.
He was one and done anyway, so there's not really much they can do about it now. He's in the NBA. What are they gonna tell him? You can't be in the NBA anymore. It's literally his second year. So, as far as Arizona, I mean, they very well could go more in depth into it, but something from 2017, like
they're gonna get some wins vacated for sure. They have to face punishment.
They're lucky they didn't win a national championship because they could have very well had that vacated away from them.
Look at Louisville; they had it vacated from them. If you remember that.
I think I do remember that. Wasn't it like 2019 when they got that vacated?
Yeah, 2019. Rick Pitino got fired for hiring prostitutes to recruit players.
Oh my, yeah. I do remember that.
And now he's the head coach at Iona. And Iona may just be the next Gonzaga. I think we made that prediction on the canteen this week. I can see that happening.
Being that small town team that actually does something?
Yeah, I 100% see it. Although Iona's not in a small town, I believe they're just on the outskirts of New York City. I fully expect that Iona, with Rick Pitino, give it 2 or 3 years, he's going to bring in a lot of good recruits. Only because it's Rick Pitino, and why wouldn't you? I don't care what the violation is, what he did wrong. Why would you not want to play for a Hall of Fame coach? If you know that coach is a Hall of Famer and he can help you get to the NBA, look at the products that have come out of Louisville in his tenure and have gone on to have successful NBA careers. I'm telling you, Iona's going to be there. But on that, we kind of got off guard or off track there.
No, I think that's all right.
I just thought I'd throw that out there. But anyway, then the next story, Hubert Davis, the assistant coach for Roy Williams. He is now the head coach of the UNC Tar Heels. He is the first African-American head coach in UNC history. I don't want to comment on that, but I guess the big thing is, I mean, obviously that's a great feat that he's the first, but I just want to, I guess I want to stick to the sports side of it like we have for so long. What can he keep North Carolina at the top? I guess is the big question.
If he was coached, if he learned under Roy Williams, I can't see why not. If he uses his same system, and,
I expect it.
Now, I don't want to go too far into depth about this, but was Roy Williams the same coach that ended up coaching MJ back in the day, or was that a different head coach?
That was Dean Smith, and he was the assistant to Dean Smith during that run.
I mean, look at what Michael Jordan did. So
typical UNC fashion that they promote from within the bench, basically, which is good.
There's nothing wrong with that. It means you don't have to literally go elsewhere to find somebody. You can just promote from within.
It means that you have good coaching depth, and it means that they're doing something right. However, the last few years of Roy Williams' stint, I couldn't say that it was great coaching at the end of the day. They made the tournament this year. They barely made it. They weren't going to make it the COVID year. So, of course, there's that. And then, of course, the other headline, and if you remember my rant from a few weeks ago about coaches putting teams on the map, stay and put your team on the map, this guy's not going to be doing that. Porter Moser has left Loyola Chicago. He is now the new head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners men's basketball team. And needless to say, I don't agree with this move by Porter.
I think we were talking about this on our live stream Monday, and I will say it sounds like a move where the money was just too much for me to not take. He definitely went for the money.
It sounds like it's the prestige, not the money.
I get it. Oklahoma is the prestigious program more than Loyola Chicago, but Loyola Chicago went a lot further than Oklahoma did. So why didn't you say it was Loyola?
Well, think about it, though. The budgets for Loyola Chicago in the Missouri Valley Conference compared to a school like Oklahoma, who is in the Big 12 Conference, a Power 5 conference. Look at the budget differences. That's more recruiting money. That's more recruiting and, more recruiting money, more travel money, bigger budget school compared to Loyola for sports. And as much as I agree with him going there, he was right in the middle of putting Loyola Chicago on the map. I just personally, I wish he had waited it out another year or two. He got him ranked. We have never seen Loyola Chicago, at least not in a long time, in the top 25. So
they were ranked before the tournament?
And that happened. They were ranked bottom of the top 25, but still, they were having a good year. I don't think I agree with this move by Porter Moser. I think he was putting the team on the map, Granted, Sister Jean did a lot of that herself, too.
Yeah, yes, she definitely did.
She's the hero of that program.
And, she could, when she definitely does, right off, she can't be nothing but proud of where that program has really gone basketball wise in recent years, especially last year, this year, or well, not last year, but you know what I'm talking about. 2019 and 2021, she could be very proud about that. So
absolutely, and I hope. Now I hear they promoted an assistant coach to be the new head coach at Loyola. I hope this coach has a similar system. I hope he can do what Porter Moser has I hope he can continue what Porter Moser started over there and keep them in relevancy in a way.
I mean, you would hope, but sometimes that's not always the case. I think Oklahoma might actually be better now that they have Porter Moser.
I mean, I want to think that. I really do. But at the same time, look at what happened to Shaka Smart.
Mm-hmm.
He's fallen off the map since he left VCU. I mean, yeah, he was at Texas. He went to Marquette. I just hope he doesn't fall in that same trap as those guys. But with that, that is going to take us to our break, our anchor break. We don't quite have a canteen break today. We're still, with the new network, we're still filming some ads right now. So I'm not going to air the old ad because it's got old logos and whatnot. So my apologies to Zach, but we will be taping an ad for us on the other shows very soon. We're still very early into this whole transition, so that is why we're not going to take in a canteen break, but we're going to take an anchor break for our audio listeners. And when we come back, we got some NFL news, we got some MLB news, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Syracuse transfer portal. So that's all coming up after the canteen or the anchor break. But actually, before we go, there's another thing I'd like to address. So over last week, or about a week and a half ago now, because we're recording on Thursday, the Rochester sports world, the Western New York sports world, lost a legend in a way. Matt Trebold, he was Channel 13's sports director, or not director, but he was a producer for 13 ABC Sports. He passed away suddenly last week at the age of 30. So I want to personally, and I'm sure Jason's going to agree, we want to pass on our thoughts and prayers to his family at this time. Yes. I am actually wearing shorts today in honor of him. He was always known as that guy in the shorts. So I'm wearing shorts, and I'm also wearing green for mental health awareness today for those who are watching on YouTube. Definitely something we need to take seriously in this time, especially during a pandemic, during racial tension, other things. Not that I ever wanted to talk about this on the show, but I think it's just important to bring up. Definitely reach out to someone you know, ask them how they're doing, and take this mental health thing seriously. So with that,
yes, please.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a big advocate on that. I mean, I've lived it and seen it every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go far into details, but please, if you know that somebody acts like they're all right and tells you you're all right, really get to know if they're actually all right or not.
Yeah, so Zach Carmian had mentioned on the Canteen podcast not too long ago that they may be doing something for mental health awareness, and count us in. That's all I gotta say. I know we haven't talked about it, but count us in, whatever it is. In the meantime, though, we're gonna take our anchor break. Again, our thoughts and prayers with Matt Trebold and his family. Welcome back to Sports Talk here on Tinkle Sports, the new Tinkle Sports network. For those who normally watch on SCN, you may know this is usually our time where we do our Out of Turn 4 segment. There was no racing last weekend. Martinsville already happened on Saturday, but we taped in advance of Saturday, so we don't have the results from that race. So we do apologize, but Out of Turn 4 will be back next week for those who do care about the motorsport side of things. So with that, let's now take a look at the NFL news. Of course, Sam Darnold, he was traded to Carolina for a conditional second-round pick, a fourth round, and a sixth rounder. Yeah, I don't think I agree with the second rounder. I think the fourth and the sixth was perfect.
But 3 draft picks for Sam Darnold, though, I think that's a little too much that Carolina gave up for Sam Darnold in the first. The way that it sounds like, giving up 3 draft picks, they have a plan for him for the future if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't pan out.
I think this throws a whole wrench in everybody's mock drafts that said Trey Lance was going to get drafted there. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm saying now it's a little less likely that it's going to happen because of the fact that now they got Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater on the roster. It's going to be a crowded quarterback space if you draft Trey Lance.
And I'm pretty sure they still have one more quarterback on the center, not just Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater too. So it's going to be very interesting what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I still want to say it's Teddy Bridgewater's team until he loses.
PJ Walker might be the other quarterback we're thinking of.
Yeah.
And he's still pretty good too.
So, like I said, Matt Rule has a lot to think about who's going to be his quarterback going into this season. But like I said before, I think this is Teddy Bridgewater's team until he loses the job. Then maybe it could be Sam Darnold's team. Forward. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, I just think Teddy Bridgewater hasn't been the same since his ACL injury. I think he kind of gave us some false hope over in New Orleans. It was definitely Sean Payton. Definitely Sean Payton helped him get get himself back up there. But it's
the main reason why Carolina didn't form as good as they usually do is because Christian McCaffrey was injured all year.
I think
he did play a few games, but he was mostly hurt.
And
that's what played a big role.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree that played a huge role in that. But again, Bridgewater, I think he really disappointed Matt Rule and that team. And in a way, I don't think that they see him going forward as the starting quarterback. But the other thing I want to note is their wide receiver core, not the best in the league. Not anywhere close to it. I don't think they've had a legitimate number one receiver in a while, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Robbie Anderson, but...
I wonder if that's the main reason why they're...
I think it's that and...
that connection with Robbie Anderson.
Yeah.
But, I hate to say it, Sam Darnold never had a great connection with Robbie Anderson. Teddy Bridgewater made Robbie Anderson into like a true number one receiver.
Yeah.
In Carolina. Sam Darnold could never be able to throw him the ball, except for maybe that one touchdown pass he had.
Yeah. But Sam Darnold is also a USC quarterback, and we all know how USC quarterbacks perform in the NFL. So he's just living up to expectation.
Minus Carson Palmer.
Yeah, no disrespect to Carson Palmer. He had an incredible career. I don't think it's a Hall of Fame career, but he had a pretty good career. And then of course the other news in the NFL, Nike and Dr. Dre have now dropped Deshaun Watson after these rape and sexual assault allegations against him. And I'm not shocked, to say the least. I want to say, yes, that's cancel culture 100%. But, there's an investigation going on. I want to see the results of the investigation, of course, as much as anybody else does. But this could be the end of his career right here that we're staring at.
Yeah. With Nike dropping Deshaun Watson, it's going to be very interesting who picked up by.
It's going to be,
because I would assume that Nike is cleats.
Yeah, like his cleats. He probably can still wear any cleat he wants now. But again, I don't see him hitting the field next year regardless. Because he's pretty upset in Houston, but at this point, I think he's got a little bit bigger concerns than a trade. And this is just the timing of all this seems very fishy, I guess is the way to put it, because he did request.
A lot of, if we've come to find out, a lot of players have had the same kind of past as like Deshaun Watson with all of this, they don't end up lasting very much longer.
I think if it comes to fruition, but Ray Rice was a different case. Ray Rice beat women, and he did it on camera with he did it with pretty substantial evidence against him.
Right.
Deshaun Watson, I don't know what's going on in the investigation right now. I don't know how much evidence they have. They clearly must have enough for Nike and Dr. Dre to announce they're going to drop him. So, I think whatever he did, yeah, he deserves to get punished for this.
I agree. He definitely does deserve to be punished.
And it's only fitting.
Losing the whole Beats sponsorship, it's not like it's going to matter that much because I'm pretty sure players
It's still extra money, though.
Bose headphones anyway while out there. I don't know how he was able to get up.
It's still endorsement money, and it's money for his agent at the end of the day. I wouldn't be shocked if his agent drops him next. I would not be shocked.
I was just going to ask, what do you think is next? I know we said about the agent. I feel like it could be the agent. I very well think that it could be.
I think the agent and the agency are not going to want to associate themselves with this, especially if there are more details, more allegations. This is just the start of a downhill spiral for him.
I think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be him not playing at 10.
He's definitely going to be 10 games minimum for suspension. They don't play with this.
I very well could see him getting released for this season because I don't think he's that cancer.
I wonder if Houston will swallow their pride and release him. Because, he'll probably get a second chance with New England, more than likely. Is this what Belichick wants, though?
Ooh. You know what? I know we didn't have that written down. But that could make a lot of sense because Cam Newton only had a 1 year. And if Cam Newton experiment doesn't work again, which I know for a fact is not going to work again, New England, I don't know. Think about bringing Cam Newton back in the first place.
I think they got a plan.
You would have to take the chance on Deshaun Watson. You could bring him in. It's an upgrade from Cam Newton. For a fact that because we've seen what Deshaun Watson can do when he has weapons around him.
Yeah.
And Yes, I would be fearful to have to go up against him twice a year in the AFC East. Don't get me wrong, but he's a hell of a quarterback, and when he's proven and can go out there and have a team around him, he can make things happen. And
But I wonder if
it's a
this
lot.
is true because teams in a way are fishy about who they give second chances to. Michael Vick got a second chance for the dog beating or the dog fighting thing. Ray Rice
But
didn't
a
get a
lot of
second
that could be
chance.
Tony Dungy that also helped them bring back Michael
Yeah,
Vick into the
but
NFL, though.
but what I'm saying though is there's inconsistencies on what teams want from their quarterback or want from a player in general. Ray Rice never came back in the league. Um, Aldon Smith had to wait years to come back into the league. We know the fate. I'm not even going to mention Aaron Hernandez in this. That was a totally different situation, and he was never going to get back in the league after that.
Right.
Even if he was found not guilty, he was never going to get back in the league.
I was just gonna say something that was related to. Come on now, look at what Kareem Hunt did, and then he's back in.
Yeah,
the NFL.
Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt did the exact same thing as Ray Rice. I mean the exact. The difference was it wasn't in an elevator, it was in a hotel room, and it was with the camera. Okay.
It's crazy that he's back in the NFL and still doing great, but Ray Rice was able to come
Yeah.
because I'm sorry, Ray Rice before all that went
It was
on was probably the best running back that the Ravens had at the time.
But that's what I'm saying though. Deshaun Watson could be the next Ray Rice, or he could be the next Kareem Hunt. We don't know what that's going to be. It all depends on the investigation, I guess, and it all depends on what NFL owners think about all this going on right now. It's all going to depend especially on what the Texans think about all this, because this is in the middle of a big contract right now. So I imagine the Texans won't want to be associated with this.
And honestly, who would?
But
You can't take that risk.
on that note, let's switch gears here. Of course, the Falcons are going to deal. They're supposedly going to deal their number 4 pick in the draft. It's very clear that they're not going to go quarterback. But with the 4th pick, they really need help at defense. I don't see anybody on the defensive side that could go top 5, let alone early top 10, like at least not till the 8th or 9th pick. I can't see anybody going on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they could use a tight end.
They could go. They could go on Pitts.
I don't know if you draft a tight end that early though. That's
Yeah, but if I saw all these mock drafts, they literally have him in the top, so it would not shock me.
yeah. I mean, I honestly would not be shocked, and this is gonna be surprising. I would not be shocked to see New England make a go at this number 4 pick to try to trade up and get Trey Lance.
Or somehow be stupid and get Mac Jones.
I think I don't know. We'll reveal our mock drafts in a few weeks here, but I wouldn't be shocked to see that either. It's a possibility that one team will go quarterback.
I don't know if you got a chance to check out Mac Jones's pro day, but the dude could throw the freaking football across. Actually, no. I can't even say that. I don't know if you actually saw Texas A&M's quarterback there. Dude was slinging. I mean, literally slinging the football. Maybe like 40, 50 yards downfield. Perfect spiral and all. Just
whose quarterback is this?
the Texas A&M, the Aggie.
I mean, he's probably not going to be first-round talent anyway, but...
No, definitely not. But, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of these late-round quarterbacks, like Russell Wilson is one of them. Super Bowl champion, has done very well in the league. You don't ultimately need to have a first-round quarterback to end up being a great quarterback in the NFL. I mean, look at Tom Brady. He went sixth.
Sixth round, 199th overall.
Seven championships showed that he should have been a first-rounder instead of a sixth-rounder out of Michigan.
True. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I don't see him going first round for sure. And that's,
I will say it's crazy to think that the first 3 picks will be quarterback, but again, we're going to go more in detail in the coming
in a few weeks
when we get closer and closer to the NFL draft.
Yeah, but
we're not too sure if we're gonna do a draft day special. We very could.
We were thinking about one on SCN when we were over there. I don't know if we're gonna do it here on Tinkle Sports, but we'll keep it in mind. It's a possibility. We're gonna just keep it in mind. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Well, I was gonna talk
and we'll
more
announce
about
it.
This
but
4th round draft pick. I don't
or
like
4th overall.
Yeah, 4th overall draft pick. Sorry, I just don't like that they're looking to deal it out. Because I'm sorry, Matt Ryan's not going to be sticking around forever.
Yeah, but I mean, you have immediate needs on defense, I think.
And you very well could get a very strong defensive player in the 4th round, in the 4th pick, not 4th round. Well, maybe
but it might be a reach.
But
if you look at what's on the rest of the board, it could very well be a reach. I think Kyle Pitts would be a safe pick, but I don't know if he's going to go top 5.
You can very well convert him into a receiver, because I'm sorry, the dude does not play like a tight end whatsoever. The dude plays like a receiver at best. And I don't know why the hell Florida decided, let's make this guy a tight end.
You might be a good block. You might be a good blocker. Excuse me.
But he's more a pass catching tight end than he is a blocking tight end.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we'll go more into detail about that.
With that, let's move forward here with that. From quarterback of the Green Bay Packers to quarterback of Jeopardy, Aaron Rodgers he's actually going to start up his 2nd week tomorrow, hosting the iconic game show, and he got trolled on his first episode. The defending champ wrote the answer. Instead of writing the answer to the question, because he didn't know the answer, he wrote, whose decision was it to kick the field goal? To troll Aaron Rodgers. And
must be a football fan.
Yeah. Oh, Aaron Rodgers loved that answer. It was just funny seeing his reaction. I'm glad he kept it classy. That's Aaron Rodgers for you. Then
I'm pretty sure it ticked him off a little bit, but of course he can't show on live television.
Of course, we're gonna dip away from sports here for a second with that discussion, but Aaron Rodgers says he wants to host Jeopardy after he's done. In the interview, he said he wants to stay hosting Jeopardy. He's willing to commit his whole offseason to taping, and he just feels he would rather do that than any analyst job.
I think he would be great at it. He would be fantastic as the host of Jeopardy going forward.
I think he'd be the best. I think he'd be around 2nd, 3rd best to replace or to honor Alex Trebek's legacy. I only say that because I've watched Mike Richards, I've watched Ken Jennings, and
this dude is not just smart on a football field. He's smart in general. That man, like I said, he just would fit the whole persona of Jeopardy so very well. I mean,
think he would.
When he was on Celebrity Jeopardy,
there,
the dude was just answering everything like no problem. So,
I know.
Like I said, it would not shock me.
There's no denying he's a smart guy, and he's obviously going to be living in California half the year because his actress fiance is out there.
Yeah.
But again, I think there are two better candidates. I think Ken Jennings, who's the GOAT, by the way, of trivia game shows. And, if you're sitting here saying, what does this have to do with sports? This is not a physical sport. What Jeopardy is, it's a mental sport. Mm-hmm. Okay? Say what you want. It's a sport. Okay? It's a competition. It may not be physical, unless you have a fight on set. But, hey, it may not be physical, but it is mental. It requires you to be mentally fit. So this is why we're discussing this. But again, I think Aaron Rodgers would make a great host. But again, if they have to ask him to retire from football in order to host the game show, I don't think he's going to take it. And to be honest, I think I can see them doing that, saying, well, you're going to have to retire to take the job.
Well, he might be very close to that. Who knows?
He's got a good few years left of losing in the NFC Championship.
Stop it. All right? Enough of that.
Oh boy, on that note, now that I've upset a lot of the cheeseheads,
enough of that.
Now we get to go on to my team. You ready for this?
Yeah.
The Chargers are $350 million in debt. You heard it right. $350 million. And the Spanos family is trying to get Dean to sell control of the team. Yeah, he needs to go. I said before that he needed to go. But I think this is the final little nudge. I'm hoping the NFL steps in and says, you're not fit to own this team. And bring in Jeff Bezos.
How the hell you can just be that much in debt as a team? Like, are you just overpaying your players? Are you just...
No, it's not that. It's just poor financial decisions that they made over the years. They made a lot of poor financial decisions, and it's not just the team, it's the family that did that. So I think, I've said it even before that, I thought he should sell the team because he has very little knowledge, to me, of how to run a football team in the 21st century. And I think, I would love for Jeff Bezos to come in and purchase the team. I'm going to be honest there. I would love it if Jeff Bezos would come in, or Elon Musk. If one of those guys could come in here and... I don't know how much interest Elon Musk has in owning a football team. But
you're going to see... then you're going to see...
I would love it, because you want to know...
California being the home of Tesla going forward.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I would...
Or they're going to make some, Chargers themed Tesla or something like that going forward.
And say what you want, Elon Musk is the smartest man probably in the world. Probably one of the smartest people in the world. Not to mention the richest man in the world. I'm telling you, this is the perfect storm, because if Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk can get their hands on the Chargers, I know Elon Musk can put the right people in the right place, and this can finally be the culture change the Chargers need, because they have the roster. They have the roster to compete with the Chiefs. They don't have the culture. That's the difference. The Chiefs before... Here's the thing. If I can continue with this. The Chiefs never had the roster before their Super Bowl. They never had the culture, and they never had the roster. There's two different things that make a good football team. The roster and the culture. Okay, if you have a good culture and a terrible roster, you can still do something. Okay, if you have the roster and not the culture, you're probably not going to do very well.
No, I was just going to say, so, you know how, what is the name of the Chargers-Rams?
SoFi.
Yeah, it's SoFi. That's such a stupid name. So, you know what?
Kind of.
Elon Musk was to buy it. You know what sounds a lot better? Tesla Stadium. Instead of SoFi Stadium, which is literally a financial...
20-year agreement, though. That's the downside. SoFi's got it for 20 years.
Yeah, and SoFi
But
is literally a no-name banking program.
they're kind of
So,
big. They're kind of bigly. But
no,
hey,
so is Chime. Why don't they call it Chime Stadium?
I mean, either way, some fans are saying, "Oh, maybe this will move the Chargers back to San Diego. Maybe they'll move to St. Louis." It's never
No,
gonna
there's no
happen.
way.
It's never gonna happen. I'm sorry. I'm a Chargers fan. I loved it when they were in San Diego, but it's never gonna happen.
But
San
there's just a
Diego didn't
bigger,
want him.
there's a
Okay,
bigger market in LA.
but let me tell you the cold hard truth here. San Diego never wanted him. St. Louis would love a professional football team back, but they're not supporting building a new stadium for a football team. And not to mention, the Chargers have a 20-year lease that they signed, and it leaves them no room to leave. Okay, they can't leave, period. It will cost them a bundle to leave. So they're stuck in LA whether you like it or not until 2038 or 2040. So just thought I'd
Or
throw that out
until
there.
they get all their debt taken care of.
No, I mean, they're stuck there till 2040. They could get hit with legal action if they leave. So, because they signed a deal with the Rams to play there. So it could create a war. But yeah,
Right.
again, I just hope if I had a dream owner, it would be either Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, because I know those two men are very smart men, and I know they would put the right people in the right place to create this new culture. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I'm saying I think it can definitely put the Chargers on the right track and maybe put this whole joke thing or this choke thing behind them and this whole joke of a franchise behind them.
Yeah.
I mean, so with that, let's go on to
I was about to say, I think we ranted about that a little.
yeah, we're going kind of long today, guys. So let's move it forward a little bit more. We got MLB news. Trevor Bauer is under investigation for pine tar. If you don't know what pine tar is, it's kind of a sticky substance that pitchers use to have a better grip on the ball, if I'm not mistaken. Chances are he's going to get hit with a suspension. Probably 2 starts. He's going to be suspended.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think pine tar is what is used on baseballs, and I
Yeah.
should know because I did take a tour of Orioles Stadium, and I'm pretty sure that's what they were putting the baseballs in to kind of like ungrease it. And I don't know.
No, it's an illegal substance.
Maybe not, but
Yeah. That's an illegal substance. It comes with a big suspension. I don't want to compare it to using steroids because it's not a steroid per se. It's more equipment.
It does like the same damage
substance.
as like you would put like a I don't know, like rubber ball and like the bat, so then you have better hitting accuracy with the baseball. It's does about the same thing there, I would believe.
Yeah. Now, then yeah, exactly. And again, I just see a suspension coming. I think there's no doubt in my mind that's going to happen. They pulled the baseball off the field and sent it to get investigated. The other big news this week, the Marlins and the Mets on Thursday had a very controversial walk-off. Their hitter, Mets hitter Michael Conforto, the bases were loaded in the bottom of the 9th with 1 out, and he leaned his elbow in to the pitch to take the hit by pitch. So he leaned in to take it, and the ump called the hit by pitch, so that was the walk-off win. I don't know if this is a written rule, but on ethics side of it, I mean, if you want to talk the ethics, to me that's unethical. That's a very unethical win, and I would not want to win that way.
It kind of sounds like the cop way out of getting an easy win. To me, honestly, like if that's all it takes to win a game, You're going to see a lot more players freaking trying to do it.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Oh, wait, correction. So it hit him. He didn't make an attempt to get out of the way. And to me, again, I just go on with ethics here. Before they're, like taping football games, that's unethical. Whether it's a written rule or not, it's unethical. You don't tape team practices. This is just unethical right here. And this is just classless. And if I'm the Mets organization, I'm yanking him aside and I'm saying, what the hell are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm MLB, I'm looking into this and maybe fining him. I don't think it's a suspension, but I think it's definitely a fine, to say the least. This is something that's going to get investigated on. Keep in mind, professional sports, you can't vacate wins.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever happens, to say the least, but if this was college, for sure that win would have been vacated. It would have been listed as a forfeit. But again, the umpire that was at home plate even admitted it was a mistake on his part. So, again, I know you can't get it right sometimes. No big deal. But this, to me, is a big deal. And it may also be just as much on the umpire as it is on Michael Conforto. So,
right.
This probably should have gone to review. I don't know if it did, but maybe we need to up the review. I know people hate reviewing. I know they hate video review because it extends the game. In any sport, they hate it because it extends the game. It makes it go longer. But maybe this is something we need to consider going forward, an expansion on review.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more clarification. I know we don't like more rules, but it may just very well lead to that.
I mean, sometimes you got to have more rules to be able to get, to the point. And if that's what has to be done, that's what has to be done.
Yeah. Then we also, this is one that Zach Carmian recommended that we talk about, but MLB and Nike have released a new City Connect series, which explores bonds beyond baseball, or among baseball, community, and culture. The Red Sox have unveiled their new Nike MLB City Connect jerseys. General consensus, they ugly. They're not just ugly. They not just ugly. They big ugly.
And excuse my language, but...
Or fugly, as you like to call it.
I'm not going to even really swear about this, but... What the hell? What the hell?
This
really?
looks like Boston the opposite. This looks like...
What the hell did they get, like, a Boston Marathon inspired jersey to...
I think it's great, but the colors...
Blue and yellow? That just doesn't match.
The colors are the exact opposite of what the Red Sox stand for. And I don't know. I think it could have been a better design. I can't wait to see what the other teams unveil, though.
You know what I would have liked a lot better? A blue design, maybe with like a yellow lettering. But the thing is, I don't know if
I'd like that either. I think it's the Red Sox. You have to have like a red jersey or a black jersey or a white jersey, something like that. Maybe a different text, maybe a different font. But I don't know. Just to me, this color doesn't scream Boston Red Sox. This screams like, again, like you said, Boston Marathon. This screams maybe Pittsburgh Pirates. Maybe the Padres.
I think it would have been a better jersey if they did something better with that Boston font.
And can I point out that there's 6 other clubs that are going to be participating in this. The Arizona Diamondbacks, the Chicago Cubs, the Chicago White Sox, the Dodgers, the Marlins, and the Giants. So...
very curious to see what the Giants city jerseys are going to look like.
Can I just say, I know there's never any excitement around the Marlins, but can we just be excited for a moment for the Marlins? Because look at what Miami has done with, the Miami Heat with the Miami Vice jerseys. What if we get something like that for the Marlins?
Oh man,
Something wild and insane like that. I think it would be remarkable.
Yeah, but don't they already have crazy enough cool looking jerseys like that already? I'm pretty sure their newer logo and their newer jerseys kind of look very close to that, like Miami Vice like style.
But man, I'm telling you though, I think I'm excited for them. I'm cautiously optimistic about Chicago. Cautiously optimistic.
What, the White Sox?
Both teams.
The Cubs and the White Sox?
Yeah, they're both in this. I'm cautiously.
The Cubs I'm a little worried about. The White Sox not so much because they're like what, gray, black and white or something like that.
But needless to say, I think this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. You can't make it much worse than the Red Sox made it. So.
Yes, you can.
Don't. Yeah, I probably jinxed it anyway. So it's all right. We're just going to move on.
Come on now. Look at the Brooklyn Nets jerseys. Those are disastrous.
Yeah, true.
Those city jerseys.
Yeah. But on that note, let's move forward here. I did want to talk about this. I know it's not a huge story, but I do want to talk about this because we do have some people, I'm sure, that listen from New York State or Western New York. Our friends. By the way, hi to our friends if you are listening. But anyway, let's talk about the Syracuse transfer portal. This is not confirmed, but it is highly speculated, and this is as of Thursday, mind you. Jim Boeheim's oldest son, Jimmy Boeheim, might just commit to Syracuse, and it should be announced probably before we go to air, but it's looking likely that he will be the new Syracuse player. He's a forward. He's 6'8". He averages just under 20 points a game. The Boeheim brothers may just take over Syracuse.
You just said the oldest brother?
Yeah, Jimmy. He plays for Cornell right now, but he is in the transfer portal.
Now, the question is, I'm shocked that he didn't go to Syracuse.
I think he just didn't want to be in his father's shadow.
No, probably not.
I think that's what he was concerned about at first. I think he wanted to be close to home at the end of the day. And he saw a chance at Cornell. I mean, you're not going to pass up an Ivy League school. If you get accepted to an Ivy League school, you're doing something good, education-wise. I mean, you can't get a better education than that. So, yeah, I like it. I hope he does go to Syracuse because I think it'll put him where they need to be. But with that, they're also going to lose Mark Dolage. He's going to the NBA draft. I don't foresee him getting drafted. I don't know. I don't follow much of the Draft Express, but I don't see Dolage getting drafted. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably going to go undrafted and be like a G League type player.
I think G League or one of those other smaller professional leagues that we mentioned last week on the show. So I can see that. But they're also going to lose Braswell, Kaderi Richmond, two big forwards they're going to lose. Or a forward and a guard they're going to lose. But they did gain a guard. Symir Torrance, the Syracuse native, he went to Marquette the last few years. He is now going to Syracuse. It's, you lose some, you win some. And if they can pick up Jimmy Boeheim, they got Symir Torrance, who has, to me, some upside. We'll see. I think this is looking good for Syracuse. I don't want to get my hopes up because every year I do, they do the same thing every year.
Yeah, but you can only go up from here.
Yeah.
So,
And we'll see what happens. Of course, the transfer portal's still going on. These guys, Braswell, Richmond, they can still return to Syracuse. I don't foresee it happening if Jimmy Boeheim goes over there. But you never know. You truly never know. But with that, it's not on our list. I forgot to add it, but we have to do it. We got a new segment here. I think I told Jason, and if not, he's in for a surprise. We got a new segment on the show, and you're ready for it?
Yes, I am ready.
We're ready. It's the new segment on the Tinkle Sports Talk.
It's called
Tinkle on This. And if you saw the LA Angels and Houston Astros game the other day, you know what it is. Inflatable trash cans, actual trash cans, were thrown from the stands onto the field. Tinkle on this, Houston Astros.
Yeah, tinkle on this, you fucking cheaters. Okay, you know what? There's my swear.
There it is. Add one to the swear jar for the week.
Cheaters.
So there is tinkle on this for the week.
You know what? You fucking deserve all the trash cans you're gonna fucking get on your damn baseball diamond, all you want. You had it coming, and you deserve it.
Should we have saved the Aaron Rodgers story with the troll for Tinkle on this?
Probably, but you know what? This one's about as good.
Tinkle on this. This is going to be our new segment every week.
Yeah, tinkle on
it's
that.
It's part of the new network. It's part of the new network. You're going to love it, guys. I just figured I'd share that this week. We got to end it on a funny note. But with that, let's say thanks for watching. Thanks for watching on Tinkle. To the people who have watched on SCN for the last 13 episodes, I know it's not much, but I want to get a little sentimental here and just say thank you for watching. Please come over to Tinkle Sports. We're going to be continuing over there. We're not doing any more shows on this channel. We're not doing any more videos on this channel. This is the end of the road. We're over on Tinkle now. Of course, if you don't want to go over there, we do have our audio platform. It's going to be the same podcast, same style, just new network. But with that, we want to say thanks for watching. Tune into the canteen this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, tune in to the new show that's going to air live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern here on Tinkle Sports Network. And until next Sunday, guys, we want to say goodbye, everyone.